Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Let's continue to this now. Police in Gauteng have launched a manhunt for a group of 6 suspects who robbed a congregation in Newlands in Johannesburg at gunpoint before shooting dead a visiting pastor at the church on Friday. 3 other people were hurt. Police are investigating a case of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. Now let's get an update. We cross now to our reporter Patricia Visagie. Patricia, thank you so much for your time. Just explain to us where exactly you are in relation to where this incident happened and what's the latest there?
Well, we're in the heart of Westbury. You would understand that the area has been making headlines in the past weeks, months, following a spate of gang-related violence, some of it linked to, of course, the spate of drugs in the area. And in the past week, we've seen the shocking news of, renewed gang violence or shootings that have emerged in this particular community. And just the end of this week, where a prophet in this area was obviously gunned down. We just want to show you where this happened at this church right here. And for community members, this is obviously a big shock that criminality of this nature would take place, in particular in a church. I'm now joined by Pastor Neil Steyn. He's not from the Eagles Christian Center, but he lives right across this particular church, and he also saw the culprits, the men who are linked to this particular shooting incident as they flee the crime scene shortly after it happened. Thank you so much for joining us, Pastor. Just tell us about the mood on the ground. How do community members feel? How do you feel following this incident?
I'm disappointed, and I feel that we should have more policing visibility in our areas, and a person can't live like this. It's not fair on the children that's growing up in the area. You got to always fear for your life, and you don't know if you're in the right place at the right time or in the wrong place at the wrong time. So that's the main what's in here. And what actually happened on Friday evening at about 8:15, my son and myself, we were standing outside in the yard, and we heard gunshots ringing off in the church here. Not thinking that it was gunshots, because sometimes when we praise and worship as the Protestant church, or like they say the Anna Klapkerk, we make quite a noise and things like that. And I didn't take it as, gunshots that went off. But nonetheless, we were still standing outside. And one of the deacons of the church here of Eagle Christian Center was outside, standing next to his vehicle. And he entered the church. And all of a sudden, things were just quiet. So I was not sure what was really happening in the church. And 5 minutes later, then another couple of gunshots went off. And 2 guys exited the church, but not running, walking normal, that, you won't suspect that these guys did something in the church. You'll just think that, no, the guys were visiting or whatever, and they're going home now, whatever. And a minute later, another 2 followed them, and they went around the corner, which is here in Brown Road, where their vehicle was standing, and they got into the vehicle and they pulled away like normal, and yet they were the shooters, the guys that were shooting in the church.
Could you recognize the 4 culprits? Do you know them?
No, I don't know them. Not at all. It was quite dark, but I can tell you that they were tall guys, and they were all wearing white caps. That's all I can say at this stage.
As a community, what is it that you would like to see happening? I mean, it's like a trend in the community now. We see more and more of such brutal incidents taking place.
Okay, my personal opinion, this incident of the church is completely differently linked to the other, gang violence and gang shootings in the area. This is linked, is a what do they call it, a tavern or a shebeen just up the road from us, Tabangs. 2 weeks ago, prior to this shooting here, like they say, the modus operandi was exactly the same. People were shot there. 11 people were shot at the tavern there, and robbed of their cell phones, and whoever had money in their pockets, they were actually shot and robbed. And exactly the same thing happened here. So this has got no link to the the gang violence or the gang shootings in our area at large.
So do you think this was a random incident of crime? It was not planned, it was not orchestrated, the prophet wasn't targeted?
No, I'd say that is the main thing. It was not a thing that, you know, where they were sent to come and shoot the prophet here or whatever the case may be.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more of the prophet, maybe that which you know, his age, maybe the little bit that you know.
Well, I'm not too familiar with his age and whatever, but all I can tell you that he's a young guy. I think he's from the East Rand or whatever, or from the West Rand, you know, Randfontein or whatever the case may be. I'm not too sure. I didn't even know they're having a conference. They were going to have a conference over this weekend. I'm not sure what type of conference it was or whatever, but I feel it was most probably a prophetic conference, because seeing that there was a prophet that was supposed to have given the message here on Friday.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Of course, as I've set a lot of attention on this community, we also have the Speaker of the Johannesburg Council, and that is Colleen Makubele, who's also here to come and give support to the community and maybe also find solutions. Thank you for joining us. It's a very difficult period in, I think, the journey of this particular community. As leaders, you often come under heavy fire for not doing enough to in particular protect communities such as these that are gripped by crime and a whole lot of other wrong things. What is being done to prioritize the needs and safeguard this particular community?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to all the viewers. I think let's start by once again expressing our sincere condolences, and it seems like we are doing that a lot in this city in the past few days, and very unfortunate to come and stand in front of a church. This environment is so somber mood for a Sunday afternoon where people should be celebrating, rejoicing and having their Sabbath and, you know, their worship. Enough is not being done, I agree, because we all know the issues of this community, not only Westbury, but the surrounding, Ennedale, Eldorado, etc. They all are facing the same plight of gangsterism, violence, whether it's robbery, gun violence and drug abuse, etc. And the interventions that we always do are more reactive and for a period. They are not sustained to ensure that people get it within them, that police presence is ever here, that you cannot walk into a place of worship like this and start to shoot congregants. You know, we've got pastor's wife from here, Pastor Maria, who's in hospital for trauma, children that must be treated for trauma, and young people that were here attending the conference. So it's a widespread of social issues that this type of incidents, they breed for the city. And I'm just appealing to national, to provincial. We've done this about 2 weeks ago when we went for the to see the families that had lost loved ones through gang violence. We appealed to say, please come in. Let's have a sustained intervention that everybody will know and get a shock to say, this is seriously, if you are going to try something like this, you'll be caught and you'll be arrested. And don't let it be for a period where they know the police are here for a month and they stay underground, and then when the police leave, these things erupt again. Because that's the mentality of a criminal. They are smart, these people, although animals in their behavior. You know, they know when not to come out and they know when to come out. Innocent day like these people in church, that's when they come out. Whether they come from a tavern or wherever, just shows how we've lost social control, social order, and will forever have this instability and crisis if nothing is not decisively done. From the presidency all the way to the mayor's office, we need something that must be done decisively.
And what is that something? We've been dealing with these crises for years now, in particular in your traditional colored communities. And we're not winning the battle, we're not turning the tide. And it seemingly appears as if there is no political will to effectively intervene and come up with a proper policing strategy. So years on, close to 30 years of democracy, we're asking, what is that solution? Because we're not seeing it on the ground.
it's a good question. What is that solution? And I think if they themselves knew what the solution was, they would have implemented it, in my opinion. Perhaps it's time to go and look at places like New York. They've suffered the same fate at some time. And they've managed with political will, which you are correct, to make sure that those kind of activities they cease and people know there is consequence management. You see, if a criminal comes and does that and you are told that there is no arrest as yet, they've traced a phone to some informal settlement, but the police were afraid to go where the phone was. They have to call private security. What kind of policing do we have? So I think it's this multifaceted intervention, but the solution does not lie in one. It lies in also the citizens themselves, and that's the role that we play in our civic education. You can't hide criminals. They are hiding in somebody else's house now. Because where the police go and raid, where they are known to be at, they are not there. So where are they? Somebody is hiding them because somebody perhaps is feeding off these activities. They earn money. We know there's unemployment and all sorts of issues that are facing our people. And so anywhere they can hit a rand or two to survive, they will use whatever means. We're at that point in our society where lawlessness pays them to put bread on their table. So we really do need some firm law enforcement that is not going to be prejudiced, that is going to be fair and without fear of any criminal, any kind of organization. Because right now, even the police are afraid of some of the organizations. They arrest them, they come back tomorrow because the justice system lets them out. Then they're after them and their families. So it's a whole lot of things that also the police will need to see from their end what they're afraid of. They're in danger themselves with this kind of activities.
What's the pledge from your office? We hear what you're saying the police should be doing, the president and whoever else. You as a leader in this city, what is it that you could do, want to do in your capacity to assist in particular vulnerable communities like these?
And we always do that. We always come out and ensure that we facilitate for all the social assistance.
In this renewed incidents, what is it that you're going to do?
Precisely that. We have to come and assist those that are under trauma now, and we provide those social assistance to them. We have to find out with the families as well. We just, you can't say fortunate, but it's only one fatality. In incidences like this, you find that families can't even bury their loved ones. We come and see them through the process. And from my office then, we liaise with the different departments on how they can intervene. Remember, we are not administrators in my office. My job is on the social side, social cohesion, ensuring that communities feel and see the presence of the city in times like this. And we do that very effectively. And we then facilitate that the various departments must play their role, because that's where the budget lies, to do this kind of interventions that you are looking for in this place. And so we are going to go back and ensure that whoever we need to poke and press to come and assist, whether it's police or this department or that provincial department, will do our best to bring them up to speed with what is happening. And they must come and address the community. You see, this is what needs to be done. They must come and address the issues of this community. And our office from legislature, our role is to keep pressing on that.
All right. Thank you so much there. The City of Johannesburg Council Speaker, Colleen Makubele, just bring us into the picture as to what her office will be doing to assist the victims of this tragedy, and also just calling for collective intervention, police who have to do their work. And of course, we've been here since this morning trying to speak to community members just to grasp the feel of what is happening. And many of them don't want to speak to us. They fear for their lives. Many of them saying that they want to speak, but they fear that if they are seen on national television, they might be targeted next. Here, of course, you can see there is no activity at this particular church following this incident that took place here. But some of the community members are saying enough is enough. It's time that their plight is taken seriously and some serious intervention is brought to this particular community. And not just this community, other areas as well. We know El Dorado Park, that's not far from here, is dealing with similar incidents, high levels of crime that's plaguing the community daily.